Before there was the Geely Coolray, there was the MG ZS. And I think for a lot of us, that was our first introduction to Chinese cars. The MG ZS Alpha was a pretty good crossover for the price, and it sold pretty well. But there were two things that kept it from becoming a really good crossover. One, its engine power, and two, its 4-speed transmission. This behind me is the newest variant of the MG ZS. It's called the MG ZST, and it aims to address those shortcomings. Is it worth your money? Let's find out. The MG ZST is supposed to be a new variant of the MG ZS, but you might as well call it a facelift. As you can see, it looks very different. Almost the entire front end has been changed. The new headlights are projector LEDs. It gets a new DRL design. It looks like an inverted Nike checkmark. If you look closely, you see these little crystal-like elements, which I have to say look very nice. The new grille is larger. It's also blacked out. You get a subtle lip over here. You get an LED fog lamp. Yeah, so it doesn't look like a Mazda anymore. I think it looks a lot more menacing now, especially with the blacked out accents. It looks more sporty and it looks more aggressive. From this angle, the changes are not as dramatic, but I think they're noticeable enough. It still gets 17-inch wheels. When I first saw these, I thought they were smaller, but that's because the tires are now bigger. These are 215 55s, and the ones on the Alpha are 215 50s. The chrome accent here has been blacked out. The door handles are partly body colored and partly chrome. You get this trophy badge right here. But aside from that, I think it looks pretty much the same as the Alpha. Here at the back, it gets these new, very attractive LED tail lamps. It gets a new bumper design with a full skid plate. It gets dual fake exhaust tips. Why? Now here's something that you might have to explain to a lot of mall security guards. To open the lift gate, there's no button down here. The opener is the logo itself. So you press this like that, and you lift it up. The cargo space here is pretty generous. You have this much cargo space. And if you need more space, you can fold the second row seats down. And there you go. With the second row seats down, you have an almost flat surface. The most significant changes to the ZST are under the hood. It now comes with a 1.3-liter turbocharged engine. As you can see, it looks pretty small, but it's the second most powerful engine in this segment, next to the Geely Coolray. By the way, this may have less power than the Coolray, but it's also lighter. Later, we'll do an acceleration run to see how much slower this is or how much faster it is compared to the Coolray. So it's a 3-cylinder turbocharged engine. It produces 160 horsepower and 230 Newton meters of torque, and it's coupled to a 6-speed transmission.
The interior of the MG ZS has also been refreshed. It now looks more sporty, it looks more premium. I love the steering wheel. It looks like it belongs to a European car, which the MG ZST kinda is, in a way. It's still originally a British brand. So it's leather wrapped. You got the MG logo at the center. You got this aluminum accent over here. Over here you have your buttons for your infotainment screen and for your screen over here. Your cruise control buttons are not on the steering wheel. Instead, you have a stalk over here. You got these rotary air vents. On the Alpha, this is made of hard plastic. Here it's covered in leather with a simulated carbon fiber pattern, and also you get red stitching all over the car. So this is leather wrapped right here. This is soft padded, and this is very soft. Look at this. Look at me squeezing it. It's very soft. Yeah, the steering wheel is leather wrapped. This is hard plastic. This is leather wrapped, and also this. These are also leather wrapped. You got this handlebar over here for the passenger. The glove box is decently sized. It is not dampened though. So it gets an electronic parking brake with auto hold. Over here, air controls for the traction control. It has hill descent control, and this is for your 360 camera. Down here you get 2 USB ports and one 12-volt outlet. It gets a bigger 10-inch screen now, and it now has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And currently this is the only Chinese crossover in the Philippines that comes with Android Auto. You also get a 360 camera. The resolution isn't the best in the segment, but it's usable enough. You can also select from different camera angles, like so. Of course, you have a start-stop button. The steering wheel is tilt adjustable, but it's not telescopic. The driver's seat is power adjustable. The passenger seat is manually adjustable. Both seats are covered in leather, and they have MG badging on them. The seats are quite comfortable, and they get generous thigh support. You also get decent bolstering, and you also get the same carbon fiber look on the leather. The ZST comes with a panoramic sunroof. Like on the Geely Coolray, the cover for the sunroof is not completely opaque. So you can see it lets a bit of light through. The aircon is cold enough that it doesn't really affect the temperature in the cabin so much. So down here you get 2 cup holders, which are quite small. They're barely big enough to hold these regular sized Jollibee cups. But let me show you a little trick. So these are your cup holders, but you can remove these. And you have room for slightly bigger cup holders. Let's say you need more storage, you can just remove this, and you have more storage over here. Underneath this you have a bit of storage, not too much. Yeah, so that's your interior. I think it looks very nice. I wouldn't say the best in the segment, but among the best. You get new toys here at the second row. You now get 2 aircon vents and 2 USB ports. You don't get a center armrest though. You get ISOFIX tethers. Legroom is about this much. I'm guessing that's about 4 inches. I have about 4 inches of headroom. The center tunnel is a bit high compared to its competitors, but let's see. So the person sitting at the center will sit like this, or he can sit like this if he wants to. This is the best place to appreciate the panoramic sunroof because you see the full length of it. And it is a huge sunroof. As you can see, even if I look straight up, I see nothing but sky. It extends all the way to the back of my head, as you can see. The vehicle has automatic folding side mirrors. They will automatically lock if you fold the doors. But you don't get a dedicated button for folding the side mirrors. So the only way you can fold that is by locking the doors, or by doing it manually. Okay, so we're now driving the MG ZST. NVH levels are pretty good. At first I actually thought that it had a start-stop function because the engine is so quiet. So this is the second most powerful engine in the segment. It has 160 horsepower, which is second only to the Geely Coolray. But this is 100 kilograms lighter, so let's see how fast it is. Like most small displacement turbocharged engines, most of the power is at the top end, which makes the manual shifting feature a blessing, since if you want to quickly accelerate, you can just downshift, get to a higher RPM, Step on the gas. On the highway, NVH levels are still pretty good. At 100 kph, you don't get a lot of wind noise. You get more tire noise than wind noise. Given its short wheelbase and its lightweight, you'd expect this to handle like a go-kart. It does feel very nimble, but the steering ratio isn't that quick. So you don't get that go-karty feeling that you get from something like an EcoSport, which I think is the best handling budget crossover that I've driven so far. It makes up for it though in acceleration. This is a lot quicker than the EcoSport. The MG ZST has a long list of active safety features. It has lane departure warning, it has rear cross traffic alert, it has blind spot monitoring. Now these are features that are absent on the Geely Coolray and most other Chinese crossovers in this price bracket. Likes and dislikes. So far I love almost everything about the car. If I had to nitpick, I have just a few very minor complaints. One would be this sunroof cover. As you can see, it's not completely opaque. A bit of light gets through. Number two, now this may be an issue to some and not at all an issue to others. If you have big feet and you like wearing rubber shoes, the space here at the footwell is pretty tight. So yeah, like I said, it could be an issue for you if you have big feet. If you don't have big feet, then not an issue at all. So check in with us at dealership if it's going to be a problem for you. Number three, I'm just not a fan of the digital tachometer. I wish we had even if it's digital, I wish it simulated an analog tachometer at least. So far, that's it. At this price, the MG ZST over delivers in a lot of things, so it's hard to find things to complain about.
So I've been driving this for a couple of days now, and I don't mind driving it for a couple of days more. I think it's a good size for a city crossover. Maliit, so madaling isingit sa traffic, madaling hanapan ng parking, but it's still big enough to be practical. You have plenty of cabin space, you have plenty of cargo space, and you won't be asking yourself, why did I even buy a crossover in the first place? It's definitely a lot more practical than a lot of the lifted hatchbacks out there. And best of all, it's a lot of fun to drive. The engine feels lively, it feels nimble, it feels peppy. So yeah, it's practical, but it can also put a smile to your face from time to time.
Come and visit us at MG Congressional. We have the best deal for our new units and the best after-sales service. Come and visit us. Thank you.
Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.